At some point, I stopped wanting a busy hustle culture life and started wanting a more quiet one. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Got a new puppy. This is Louie, and living in an RV with a tiny puppy has been a challenge, but we're having fun. We're having fun. Yes, we are. So as I'm cleaning up after my puppy, chewing on all my shoes, I was thinking about how, in my 20s and 30s, I was just go, and building business and doing all the things and the hustle. And then when I got divorced in 2009, see, how old was I? I was, my brain doesn't work like it used to. Let's see. 19, I was 41. I was still young. When I got divorced did I do that right? I thought I was older than that. Let's see, 2009 minus 1968, I was 41. I feel like I was older than that, but I had lived so much life up to that point. I mean, I had owned a couple businesses, I'd lived on a boat, we traveled, did all the things, and the marriage just was going in separate directions and what we wanted in life, and so we separated and divorced in 2009 after 23 years of marriage. And I was still like living that crazy fast life. And I was all about dating and meeting new people and going out and partying and doing all those things that I felt like I didn't get to do in my 20s because I was raising kids. And then the pandemic hit. And by then I was, 50, had been through cancer and those kind of things, and things just, my priorities in life took an abrupt 180. And I feel like when I talk to other women of my age, they're kind of in the same place now. They're kind of like, you know what, I just want quiet. And a lot of that, I think, had to do with how hard I went through my 40s, but also the pandemic changed things. And culture itself was exhausting with the internet and things like that. When I went back to dating in, 2010, 2011, after I got divorced, it was all about online dating. And at first it was fun and new and, all that kind of thing. But I only dated for about 5 years. And now I have not been dating at all since I think the last date I went on was in 2021 or 22. And here's the thing. It's not that I'm completely opposed to meeting anybody, because if the right person came along and we hit it off, it would be fun to have a partner in life. But here's the thing. Because my social life has withdrawn and I'm not out meeting new people as much as I used to, I refuse to do online dating. It felt like catalog shopping or online shopping, which I also don't like to do. I like to touch, I like to feel, I like to smell the material before I try it on. And so online dating was just like flipping through a catalog and wondering, I wonder if I'm going to like the feel of that fabric. I wonder if that's going to have enough stretch to it. I wonder if that table is really going to fit in that corner. And I'm very, I need to see, touch, feel things. And online dating, I learned very quickly that what was in the photo wasn't necessarily, and in the description, was not necessarily what arrived in my mailbox. And I'm sure people feel the same way, men feel the same way about the women out there. I was always trying to be brutally honest in my profiles and stuff, but I feel like I still miss the mark a lot of times when people met me. Maybe they didn't think that they were getting whatever. So the online dating and online catalog shopping just isn't for me. I'm old school. I want to meet someone in person, and if I don't, that's fine too. I mean, I've been alone long enough now. My puppy's getting into trouble. Come here. I've been alone long enough now that I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And the social life, just, I can take it or leave it. I have a few friends that I talk to once in a while, maybe have a lunch. The thing is because I'm a hairstylist, I get social interaction at work, and that's usually enough to keep me satisfied for the week. I'm kind of semi-retired. I work 2 to 3 days a week. And after, 10 hours of constantly talking to different people and different perspectives, and, you have to keep that energy up, I'm ready to be alone again for the next few days I'm off. So that works out. And of course, he's keeping me very busy now. Yeah. And I found that small talk just doesn't do it for me anymore. If I can sit down with somebody that we have like that chemistry, or we're both interested in the same thing, and we can get into a deep conversation about something, that's awesome. I mean, think of the Joe Rogan podcast, how he sits down and they just really talk about interesting things. I can sit and listen to that. And I like to have those kind of conversations with people. I'm a little weird. I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I love to go down the rabbit holes and make fun of those kind of things. But how's the weather? What are you doing on vacation this summer? I mean, I do that at work all day. And so if I'm going to have a social interaction outside of work, it's got to be deeper than that. Otherwise, I'll just let it go. I'd really rather just sit outside and listen to the birds and paint or something than to have small talk. When I opened my salon, and even before then, when I was always self-employed, I was hustle culture. I was part of the hustle culture. I was part of that toxic lifestyle. And when I opened my salon, the hairstylist lifestyle is very much hustle culture. I mean, you're getting business. And then of course the internet had just become a thing, or not the internet, but social media had just become a thing in like 2015 when I opened my salon. Instagram was just kind of getting going, and it was all about posting. And we built that salon pretty much on social media. And then after I took a break and came back, I don't have that same energy. I don't want to constantly be posting and begging for business and pick me. I'm just not that person anymore. And so I've withdrawn. In fact, I was talking to my daughter the other day, who is a 30-something hairstylist. And so she's built a pretty steady clientele now, so she doesn't really have to post if she doesn't want to. She's booked way out. But when I came back after being off for a couple of years and trying to build that business again, that hustle culture was just giving me the icks. And now I'm starting to build again, and I've got enough clientele to kind of keep me going, and I just hate posting online. And it used to be about, doing the big transformations and the, I can do this and I can do that and I'm better than this and I can do extensions and I can, all these things that I was doing. But I'm finding now that I don't want to work that hard anymore. I don't want to have to formulate and think and push through the hard of doing hair, because there is a level of doing hair that is very difficult. And I used to thrive on that. And now I'm like, you know what? Let's just touch up your grays and give you a trim. And that's okay. And we'll have a little chit chat and, enjoy our time together, and off you go in the next, And I watch the ladies that I do hair with now. I'm in a salon now with an older generation of stylists. They're all about my age or older. And they just have their regulars that have been coming to them for 20 years, and they don't even have to think about it. They just do their job. They enjoy the time with their client. They have a few laughs, and then they're on to the next one. It's not in the back room sweating out a formula, or trying to get those extensions to color blend just right, and all that stuff that I used to thrive on. I don't like that anymore. So I was talking to my daughter, and I thought, it's so funny, because she's still kind of digging that. I'm like, it's so funny. When I came back, I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to dig into this, and I'm going to be doing all these big transformations and get back into it and start making the big money again. And it's like, it's not important to me anymore. As long as I make enough to put some food on the table and keep the roof over my head, I'm happy, And when I try to do more, that's when I get miserable. So I'm learning a lot of lessons about just slowing down. I told her, I says, I was thinking the other day, ever since I've been back to work, And if you see previous videos, I took off some time and traveled in the RV. But ever since I've been back to work, I have been, trying to build the business again. And then also on my days off, constantly thinking about side hustles I can do to make money. I started YouTube. I can do print on demand. I can do this. I can do that. I can do all these things, and I can get all these revenue streams going and blah, blah, blah. And I have not, since I've been back, I haven't really looked at the big picture that I can work 2.5, maybe 3 days a week, depending on how much I do each day, and have the rest of the week off. I'm semi-retired. Why am I struggling so hard to keep that hustle culture? Like if I sit and watch a movie and it's daylight hours, I feel guilty. And I don't know if it's our generation or if it's just me, because I've always been an entrepreneur. I'm 58 years old. I should be enjoying this time. And last weekend, for the first time in a long time, I didn't turn on the computer. I didn't research anything. I took my granddaughter and we went up and did a waterfall hike and just spent the day. We just drove. It was a 2-hour drive up there. She wanted to goof off at the lake a little bit, so I just sat on a stump up the lake or on a log and let the puppy play in the water and just relax. And it's the first time I've done that in a long time. Just shut everything off. And I started thinking, this is what I should be doing with my life now. I should be enjoying it, the quiet, read a good book, go for a walk, enjoy the fact that I'm not at work. And when I'm not at work, don't be thinking about other ways I can work. So it's tough for me to gear down, but I'm really starting very soon. In fact, I'm getting ready to load up the RV and get out of the driveway and head up to the campground for the summer. I spend my entire summer in a campground, and I commute back and forth for work for the couple of days a week I work. And I'm going to really, really push myself to just do things I enjoy, and stop worrying about how much money's in the bank account, as long as the bills are paid. Another thing I've found myself doing is, cell phones make us constantly available. And, in my business, in the hair business, I would answer texts 9-10 o'clock at night. Oh, it's a customer. Gotta keep that going. Can't not answer them. They might go someplace else, and that is something that I am horribly guilty of. And just this week, I had someone text me at 9:30 at night. And normally I turn my sound off, but we've had a family thing going on, so I've kept my volume on, so in case someone had to get a hold of me. But this text came through, hey, I need to get in for a haircut, blah, 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 blah. And I started to check my schedule to respond and let her know when I could get her in. I thought, what are you doing? It's 9:30 at night. I'm watching a movie. I paused it to answer a customer? No. She probably texted thinking I wouldn't even see it till morning. I can do this in the morning. And as hard as it was to do, I set the phone down and I thought, I'll answer her in the morning. And I did, and we got her booked and everything was fine. And that urgency and constantly being available to everybody is part of my stress level that I need to take away, and I need to just start enjoying the movie instead of constantly, pausing it to answer a text or pausing it to answer a phone call or whatever. Of course, nobody ever calls anymore. And that's another thing. I hate talking on the phone. I really do. And I think that's just, with texting, it's just become easy. I'll sit and talk in person with you, but I don't want to talk on the phone. Maybe FaceTime. I hate a voice coming into my ear that I don't have a face to. I don't know. That's just me. I'm weird. So funny. In the 80s when I was a teenager, I'd talk on the phone for hours. And the call waiting, my mom trying to get a hold of me. Remember call waiting? But yeah, now I really don't like talking on the phone. So I don't know what that's about. But I don't really like texting back and forth forever either. So a face-to-face conversation is always better for me. The other thing I'm kind of over, and I've actually talked about this for the last couple of years, is this. Now, I have makeup on now, and my hair is coiffed, and I'm getting ready to go to work. And I feel like I have to show up looking like I didn't just roll out of bed. And I think this is the same with a lot of women. I think the pandemic really changed my age group. A lot of gals let their hair go gray. They quit, worrying about, looking like they're camera ready all the time. And I have really done that. In fact, you will see videos on here where I'm just barefaced and it's just me. And where'd he go? Oh, my puppy's at my feet. And that performance culture where I feel like I need to be on stage all the time. I couldn't go to the store unless, I had some mascara and lipstick on and my hair was combed or blah, blah, blah. Now I'll throw a hoodie on, throw my hair up in a bun, make sure my face is washed and my teeth are brushed and I'm good. I don't need to be looking like I'm camera ready all the time. And that has freed me so much to get so much more done in my life. And even with YouTube, when I first started doing YouTube, I felt like I needed to be put together in order to present myself to the world. But it's like, no, this is me. You're going to see me with makeup. You're going to see me without makeup. I even have videos, I think on TikTok, where I'm in my pajamas and my hair's all crazy because I think of something I want to say. And that comes with age, and that comes with a sense of freedom that some of us older gals are just feeling now. It's like, you know what? I don't need to compete with the 20-year-olds anymore. And when I was in that hustle culture in my 40s, when I opened my salon, all my employees were in their 20s. And so I was not necessarily competing, but at least trying to keep up and, trying to look the look and, wear the clothes and doing hair in heels. Come on. Now I'm in a nice shirt, maybe some earrings. I've got tennis shoes on my feet. That's how I do hair now, because I have gotten wiser that my clients expect me to look put together, but I don't need to look like a runway model to do hair. And that's saved me a lot of sore feet. And back to the being, on the go all the time. And I hear people joke about this all the time, how, you make plans with somebody and then they call and they cancel, or they text and cancel, and you're almost like relieved because now you get to leave your jammy pants on and cuddle up with a blanket and a cup of coffee and read a book instead of having to do all this and go out. It's just exhausting to go out anymore. And it's not the same as it was. I think one of the things that really stopped me from going out was the pandemic. I mean, up until the pandemic, even through the cancer and the treatments and the liver failure and all the things I had through 2017, 18, and 19, I was in and out of the hospital. I was still, even with my bald head, I was putting a hat on and we were going dancing. We were going out. We were, because we had this one place we loved to go. And, but the pandemic allowed me to just rein it back. And I got chickens and I got goats and I was home a lot more, and I ended up doing hair from home and just slowing down. And I haven't wanted to go back to the fast pace. I thought that's what I wanted. I mean, I was thriving that. I was wanting that. I thought that's what I needed. But then once I slowed down, I didn't want to go back to it. And maybe it was the pandemic. Maybe it was just the age. I don't know. I'm 58 now. It's been 6 years since the pandemic, and I've gotten slower and slower and slower and quieter and quieter and quieter. And I'm just here to tell you gals that are in our age group, it's okay. It's okay. One of my most favorite things to do now as a social event is to sit around a table with a couple of my friends, shoot the shit, and maybe paint or craft or do something really nerdy. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. My new snail mail club is getting ready to launch. Each letter tells a story that comes along with items that have to do with the story. There'll be stickers and postcards and games and other treasures that can be used in a journal if that's how you want to do it. I've been cutting and printing and stuffing and preparing for the launch. My goal is to have 25 members when the first set of letters go out very, very soon. If you like magical fantasy stories told in the form of letters that you'll receive each month in the mail, then this mail club is for you. Don't miss out. Sign up now at parchmentandtreasure.com.